Now, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has rejected assertions the introduction of a cylinder recovery margin would increase the price of LPG at the pumps. LPG marketers are against the 13.5 CD margin, warning consumers will bear the burden. But the NPA insists the imposition of the margin is in line with full cost recovery principle of petroleum products pricing. Joining me in studio is Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association of Ghana, Gabi Kumi. He's here to respond to the latest development. I don't know if you can pull up the press statement from the NPA right now as we try to go through and understand the NPA's viewpoint. So it reads that the attention of the National Petroleum Authority has been drawn to a statement issued by the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana on, of course, the subject of the withdrawal of a cylinder recovery margin dated April 3 for the withdrawal of the 13.5 Ghana cedi cylinder recovery margin, which took effect on April 1. Now, the NPA wishes to state categorically that contrary to their claim that the introduction of the margin will increase the product price at the pumps and thereby burden the consumer, the facts as they stand do not support that. Now, it says per our projection for this very pricing window, consumers are expected to enjoy a price reduction of about 11.56%, even with the introduction of the cylinder recovery margin. These projections were made before the decision to introduce the cylinder recovery margin. It goes on to say it is important to state that under the cylinder recirculation model, LPG cylinders will be procured, owned, branded, and maintained by the oil marketing companies and LPG marketing companies. And then it goes on to say the LPG MCs and OMCs will assume full responsibility of the safety and maintenance of the cylinders and also be liable for any accident involving their branded cylinders. The margin is therefore to assist the marketers offset some of their financial expenses in accordance with full cost recovery principle of petroleum products pricing in Ghana. And so let's make sense of all of this. Let's get a response of the LPG marketers. Gabriel Kumi joins me in studio. Great to have you in studio right now to have a discussion about gas at this time of the lockdown, which is an essential commodity, I should say, and not the time to be going back and forth about pricing. And so the NPA raises 2 points to do with the fact that the latest pricing window, they expect prices to go down anyway. So your point about the consumer bearing the burden is neither here nor there. Let's start with that.
Thank you, Dario. To begin with, I would like to make two basic points. The first point is that our current position has nothing to do with the cylinder recirculation model.
Okay.
In fact, we are on the table with NPA, helping to shape up the policy. So we are in full cooperation with NPA when it comes to the cylinder recirculation model that the government wants to introduce. The second point I want to make is that for the past 2 years, the LPG marketing companies have led a fight to appeal to government to take off the existing taxes on LPG to make the product more affordable for the ordinary Ghanaian, so that government's own objective of trying to increase penetration of LPG from the current 25% to 50% by the year 2030 could be achieved.
Right.
Because we believe that the only LPG is a product with an elastic demand. The only way you can engender growth is to bring down prices so that you attract a lot of people into the consumption. So your own objective could be achieved. Having said that, NPA's assertion that prices didn't go up is, to say the least, funny. The downward trend that the LPG price has taken over the past 1 month is not a gift from NPA. Somewhere around December, January, Ghanaians were paying about 6 Ghana cedis per kilo for LPG, when crude oil prices was at somewhere $64 per barrel. After the COVID-19 came in, crude oil prices started dropping.
It's actually halved now. We are having around
exactly.
30.
It's even more than half. Last window, that is the window of middle of March to the end of March, LPG was being bought at around 5 Ghana cedis per kilo. This window we should have been buying at about 4 cedis 50 pesos per kilo. But because of the introduction of this new levy, we cannot buy the product at 4 cedis. We will still have to buy it at 5 cedis. So even though last window we were buying it at 5 cedis, we should have been buying LPG now at 4 cedis. So if you have brought a margin that has not enabled Ghanaians to enjoy the 1 cedi we are supposed to enjoy,
but
and
the
you
MPA says,
you tell us that the price did not go up. The point is, we should have been buying at 4 cedis instead of 5 cedis.
The MPA says that this is something you should have been taking responsibility for anyways. I mean, this is nothing new. It's in line with the petroleum product pricing.
Daryl, we believe in full cost recovery. We are on the negotiating table with MPA. Mm-hmm. We are trying to find ways of trying to see how best we can raise money to fund these cylinders, to fund the cylinder recirculation agenda. We have raised several issues. We have talked about several areas we could look at for this fund. And we believe one of the areas we can look at is the 5 Ghana pesos we have been charging consumers for the past 20 years, which is meant for promotion of LPG. On the price build-up, as you're looking at, there is 5 Ghana pesos on the price build-up. Mm-hmm. And this currently rakes in about 1.2 million Ghana cedis a month. We believe when we look into that fund, we should be able to find more than enough revenue to be able to fund the cylinder recirculation.
Is that the reason the fund was set up?
It's for LPG promotion. I mean, you can read it. It's right there. You can show it to your viewers. It's for LPG promotion. The English is clear there, my brother. Instead of going to levy consumers more. I mean, look, yesterday our president did fantastic. This is the time our president is giving freebies. This is the time the president is giving us 3 months water free. We expect our regulator to follow the steps of our president.
I should think that you'd have raised this matter with the MPA. What reaction or response are you getting from them on this matter? We have not gotten
any explanation from our regulator when we raise these issues. And we have even argued that, look, if we still want to have a line to fund this cylinder recirculation, we can also look at the current price, taxes on the product. We have over 20% taxes on the LPG currently. We can look at reducing some of the tax so that we can fit this cylinder funding in there so that it does not come as an additional burden to the consumer. Daryl, currently, if you look at the West Africa sub-region, LPG is being subsidized by a lot of countries. Subsidized. But in Ghana, we have over 20% tax and levies on LPG.
And seeing that the consumer is the one going to suffer at the end of the day in the midst of all this back and forth, I mean, it's good that the MPA in the statement says that we are open for some more talks over this matter. What's the way going forward? Because you have just a minute.
We are urging our regulator to kindly withdraw that levy with immediate effect. Look,
you wouldn't negotiate?
Withdraw, then we go and negotiate. We're not going to negotiate on this. I mean, our principal position has always been that LPG should be made tax-free because of the enormous benefit that this country stands to gain by increasing consumption of LPG. So if you cannot even reduce or scrap the current taxes, why then you come up with a new one at such a crucial time when Ghanaians are locked up at homes, when they need more LPGs to cook in their houses? This is the time we are going to raise taxes on the product. We feel that is unfair to Ghanaians, and we are requesting that our regulator withdraw this levy. Let's go back and look at other alternative ways of funding this project. We are for the cylinder recirculation project. Right. We are on the table with them. We have our contribution towards the shaping of this policy can never be underestimated by MP.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel Kunitha, with the LPG Marketers Association. Thanks very much for your thoughts this afternoon.